world where honor is often a weakness rather than a virtue, imagining Tyrion Lannister as the most honorable man in Westeros reshapes the moral landscape entirely. From the beginning, his sharp wit would still define him, but instead of using it primarily for survival and manipulation, it would serve as a tool for truth and justice. Tyrion would stand apart from his family not only in spirit but in principle, refusing to participate in deceitful politics and choosing transparency even when it endangered him. Growing up under the shadow of Tywin's cold expectations, an honorable Tyrion would face even greater isolation. Rather than seeking validation through clever schemes or indulgence, he would develop an unshakable internal code. Every insult, every dismissal would strengthen his resolve to prove that honor is not bound to appearance, lineage, or physical strength. In this version, Tyrion's resilience would become his greatest weapon, forged not in bitterness but in integrity. His relationship with Jaime would deepen under this lens of honor, as Tyrion would challenge his brother to confront his own moral contradictions. Their bond would remain strong, but it would carry a weight of accountability. Tyrion would not excuse Jaime's actions so easily. Instead, he would push him toward redemption, creating a dynamic where loyalty and truth coexist in tension. With Cersei, however, the divide would become insurmountable. Tyrion's refusal to engage in manipulation or cruelty would make him her natural enemy even more than in the original story. His honesty would expose her schemes, not through cunning plots, but through unwavering clarity. This would intensify their conflict, turning it into a philosophical war between deception and truth. As Hand of the King, Tyrion's leadership would transform King's Landing. Rather than playing political games, he would establish trust as the foundation of governance. His decisions would prioritize fairness over advantage, earning him both admiration and suspicion. Many would see his honesty as naivete, underestimating the strength it takes to remain honorable in a corrupt court. During the Battle of Blackwater, Tyrion's honor would shine not just in strategy, but in accountability. He would fight alongside the soldiers not to prove himself, but because he believes no leader should ask others to risk what he is unwilling to risk himself. His courage would inspire loyalty, not fear, creating a different kind of respect among the ranks. His trial would take on a new level of tragedy. An honorable Tyrion would refuse to manipulate witnesses or twist narratives, choosing instead to speak the truth plainly, even knowing it would condemn him. His speech would not be filled with bitterness, but with a quiet, devastating clarity about the injustice of the world around him. When facing execution, Tyrion would accept his fate with dignity, trusting that honor does not require survival to have meaning. This perspective would deeply affect those around him, planting seeds of doubt in even the most hardened hearts. His example would challenge the very system that seeks to destroy him. If he escaped, it would not be out of vengeance, but necessity. Tyrion would carry his principles beyond Westeros, becoming a symbol of what leadership could be. His journey would shift from one of survival to one of purpose, seeking to bring justice wherever he goes. Ultimately, Tyrion, as the most honorable man in Westeros, would redefine what it means to be powerful. In a land dominated by fear and ambition, his unwavering commitment to truth would stand as a quiet revolution, proving that even in the darkest places, honor can endure. An honorable Tyrion Lannister would not simply alter his own destiny. He would become a disruptive force within the fragile, corruption-driven structure of Westeros itself. In a realm where deception is currency and betrayal is often rewarded, his unwavering integrity would function almost like an anomaly, something the political system cannot easily absorb or neutralize. Rather than adapting to the rules of the game, Tyrion would expose them, forcing every major player to confront the uncomfortable truth that the system survives precisely because no one dares to challenge it openly. This shift would be most evident in King's Landing, where power is maintained through whispers, secrets, and calculated cruelty. Tyrion's refusal to manipulate or deceive would initially be seen as weakness, an exploitable flaw in an otherwise brilliant mind. Yet over time, that same honesty would become unpredictable in its own way. His enemies would struggle to anticipate him, not because he is deceptive, but because he is not. His transparency would strip away the layers of expectation that others rely on, creating a new kind of strategic advantage rooted in moral clarity. When Tyrion aligns himself with Daenerys Targaryen, the relationship would evolve into something far more complex than the simple advisor-queen dynamic. Instead of enabling her ambition through clever political maneuvering, he would act as a moral counterweight to her growing sense of destiny. He would not flatter her or justify her more destructive impulses, but challenge her directly, even at great personal risk. This would introduce a tension between conquest and conscience, forcing Daenerys to confront whether her vision of liberation justifies the suffering it demands. Such influence could profoundly reshape key decisions. Moments that once leaned toward fire and blood might instead become crossroads of hesitation and reflection. Tyrion's presence would not guarantee peace, but it would ensure that every act of destruction carries a weight that cannot be ignored. In this way, his honor becomes both a guide and a burden, slowing progress, complicating choices, and demanding a level of accountability that few rulers are willing to accept. His connection with Jon Snow would form one of the most significant alliances in this reimagined Westeros. Both men, outsiders in their own ways, would recognize in each other a rare commitment to doing what is right rather than what is easy. Their conversations would move beyond strategy into philosophy, shaping decisions that affect the entire realm. Together, they would represent a new kind of leadership, one not built on fear or legacy, but on responsibility and sacrifice. In the North, where honor still holds cultural weight, Tyrion would find a degree of acceptance that eluded him in the South. However, even here, his version of honor, one that refuses compromise entirely, would be tested. Northern lords, though honorable, understand the necessity of harsh decisions in times of war. Tyrion's rigid principles might clash with his pragmatism, creating friction even among potential allies who otherwise respect him. Meanwhile, in King's Landing and beyond, the ripple effects of his integrity would begin to destabilize long-standing power structures. Those who thrive on manipulation would find themselves increasingly exposed, their tactics less effective against someone who refuses to engage on their terms. Some would double down, becoming more ruthless in response, while others might begin to question whether the system they serve is sustainable at all. Interestingly, Tyrion's honesty would not always lead to immediate victories. In many cases, it would result in lost alliances, lost opportunities, and even lost lives. His refusal to lie or deceive could close doors that a more pragmatic leader might easily open. This is the paradox at the heart of his character. His greatest strength is also his greatest limitation, a quality that elevates him morally while isolating him politically. Over time, however, the cumulative impact of his actions would begin to reshape perceptions. People across the realm, soldiers, commoners, even minor lords, would start to see the possibility of a different kind of leadership. Not one that promises glory or dominance, but one that values fairness, truth, and accountability. Tyrion would become less a player in the game and more a symbol of something beyond it. Yet symbols come at a cost. Tyrion's journey would be marked by betrayal from those who cannot understand his choices, and by the constant threat of elimination from those who see him as a danger to the status quo. His life would be one of continual sacrifice, where every moral stand carries a tangible consequence. He would not be celebrated in his time as a hero by all, but often criticized as impractical or even foolish. In the end, Tyrion's legacy would not be defined by crowns or conquests, but by transformation. Westeros would not become a perfect realm. Such a change is far too vast for one man, but it would begin to shift. Seeds of doubt would be planted in the minds of rulers, and seeds of hope in the hearts of the people. Through quiet defiance and unwavering principle, Tyrion Lannister would prove that integrity, though costly, has the power to outlast even the most deeply rooted systems of corruption.